Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. You know how a really good jigsaw puzzle just seamlessly snaps together? Well, that is exactly what we're going to explore today. We're looking at a meticulously designed interlocking ministry framework known as the Empowered Ecosystem. We're going to break down exactly how Empowered Christian Ministries, the Empowered365 Network, and Transformation Church International all fit together to rapidly scale relational discipleship all across the globe.
Okay, let's dive into this. To really understand how this whole ecosystem ticks, we have to start at the absolute foundation, which is this direct quote from Jesus in Matthew 28. He says, "Go and make disciples of all nations, teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you." I mean, this isn't just a casual suggestion, right? It's the Great Commission. The entire empowered ecosystem is literally reverse engineered from this specific biblical mandate. Every single tool, network, and community we're going to look at today exists for this one overarching mission: making mature, empowered disciples.
But here's the rub, right? We're dealing with two completely different mindsets today. The first is consumer church culture. This is that unbiblical worldview where church is treated almost like a product to be consumed. You show up, you're entertained by the music, you listen to a speaker, and then you just go home. It's totally passive. Now contrast that with the biblical model, relational discipleship. This demands active engagement. It's all about mutual accountability, bearing one another's burdens, and actually sharing your life. The ecosystem we're exploring today is a holistic solution designed to pull people out of that passive consumerism and drop them right into active relational discipleship.
So, to give you a quick roadmap of our explainer today, here's our agenda. First, we'll look at the core discipleship mission. Then, the empowered ecosystem. Third, the Empowered365 training engine. Fourth, transformation house churches. Fifth, expanding through strategic partnerships. And finally, fulfilling the Great Commission.
All right, Section 1, the discipleship mission. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of how this network actually operates, we really need to understand the philosophy driving it. In this ecosystem, discipleship is not just some optional side program. And that brings us to a major roadblock that this mission seeks to totally dismantle: the clergy-laity divide. This is that hierarchical distinction that basically limits ministry strictly to the professionals. Think about the math for a second here. In a traditional model, you might have one pastor trying to effectively disciple 100 or more people from a stage in maybe 2 hours a week. It's mathematically impossible. This unbiblical structure leaves everyday believers totally underutilized. The empowered philosophy, on the other hand, champions the priesthood of all believers, the idea that every single Christian is called and equipped to actually do the work of the ministry.
Moving on to Section 2, the Empowered Ecosystem. So if the ultimate goal is to empower everyday believers to make disciples, how do you actually structure that on a global scale? Well, you need a serious system.
And this brilliantly illustrates the solution. Think of Empowered Christian Ministries as this giant unifying umbrella. It's the parent organization connecting all these vital resources: educational networks, ministry academies, Christian coaching and counseling for deliverance and inner healing, church development and planting, and even specialized publishing. It is the complete, interlocking suite of resources designed to facilitate spiritual growth from every possible angle. But looking at that massive umbrella begs a pretty huge practical question, doesn't it? How do we efficiently and effectively train everyday believers for this global mission? Like, how do you take someone from being a brand new believer to a confident disciple maker, no matter where they live in the world?
Well, that brings us to Section 3, the Empowered365 training engine. This is the robust, dynamic, digital engine that powers the education and spiritual formation for the entire ecosystem.
Let's break down how this training engine actually works for you. For flexible, ongoing personal growth, they've got the all-access membership. You pay a monthly or annual fee, and you get full access to their entire course library to study whenever you want. On the flip side, for structured ministry credentialing, there is the Ministry Academy. This requires just a one-time investment, and it takes you through specific certification pathways, like becoming a certified small group leader. It's built to give you real, practical ministry skills and professional credentials.
Plus, if you don't want a long-term membership or a full credential, you can just tap into the Empowered365 Education Marketplace. You can literally just purchase a single course or ebook a la carte to fulfill one specific need. The marketplace covers the whole spectrum, from biblical foundations and spiritual growth to purpose and personal development, all the way up to serious discipleship and ministry development programs. It's incredibly accessible for anyone.
But hey, training is really only half the equation, right? Let's move to the next logical step and see how this builds out. Once you have this army of newly trained, empowered leaders who truly grasp biblical discipleship, where do they actually gather? Where does the rubber meet the road on the ground? That brings us to Section 4, Transformation House Churches. This is the physical, relational anchor of the ecosystem. Oh, and if you're taking notes right now and want to look this up later, their digital home is spelled out as tchouse.church.
So, what exactly is Transformation Church? Basically, it's a global family of decentralized, relational house churches led by qualified leaders under shared biblical governance. Rather than pouring millions into massive, expensive megachurch buildings, they are utilizing living rooms. You can actually go to tchouse.church right now and either find an existing community near you, or if you've gone through the training we just talked about, you can apply to start one yourself.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it solves a massive historical problem in church planting, balancing scale with unity. By leveraging high-tech tools like internet-based pastoral training, online ordination, and mandatory monthly virtual coaching, they can maintain deep doctrinal unity across the globe. They use a universal discipleship methodology and simplified governance. This framework allows for incredibly rapid scalability while ensuring the actual day-to-day experience for the believer remains a high-touch, intimate, face-to-face relational environment. It's a really smart blend of digital efficiency and relational depth.
Next up, Section 5, Expanding Through Strategic Partnerships. Now, you might be wondering, does this ecosystem only care about people joining their specific house churches? Absolutely not. This isn't some exclusive club. It's a collaborative framework built to multiply kingdom work everywhere. They've mapped out 3 distinct pathways to partner with outside folks. Step 1 is the Power Partner Program, which equips traditional churches, ministries, and schools with their training tools. Step 2 is the Christian Influencer Program, where brand ambassadors can actually earn commissions while expanding the network's reach. And Step 3 is the Marketplace Publishing Partner Program, which lets independent Christian authors and creators list and share their own content right on the Empowered365 platform.
I want to pause on the Power Partner Program for a quick second because it really highlights a core value of the whole ecosystem, unity. They are absolutely not trying to compete with traditional legacy churches. Actually, scratch that. It's the exact opposite. Through the Power Partner Program, they offer their turnkey educational programs to help traditional churches solve their own discipleship challenges. It's all about empowering the broader body of Christ, regardless of what kind of building they gather in on a Sunday morning.
And finally, Section 6, Fulfilling the Great Commission. As we bring this explainer full circle, we have to look at how all these interlocking pieces ultimately serve that foundational biblical mandate we started with.
The Empowered Ecosystem truly is a holistic solution. By running the Empowered365 digital engine, it completely bypasses those old geographical and financial barriers. By focusing entirely on training everyday people, it maximizes the priesthood of all believers instead of relying just on professional clergy. It masterfully blends high-tech training with high-touch, relational house church communities. And above all, it prioritizes genuine spiritual transformation way above mere institutional size or attendance numbers. So when you pull all the puzzle pieces together, the crucial point is this: the tools for deep, relational, and scalable discipleship are already out there, perfectly interlocked and ready to go. The only question left is this: are you ready to step out of the consumer crowd and become an active, empowered participant in the Great Commission? Definitely something to chew on as you consider your own spiritual journey. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I can't wait to dive into our next topic with you. See you then.